And we need that lamp on that piece of wood and this snail.
Hey Rusty, you wanna go wake Mom up? Alright, let's go. Tell her a secret. Tell her a secret. Sit. Good boy. Shake. Good boy. Ready? Bang! Good boy. A little slow motion, that's alright. And high five. Yes. Good boy. Good job, buddy.
Hey, I am obviously in the middle of doing my hair, and as I was doing it, I thought I would film this because this has saved me. This method of curling your hair has saved me so many times. Like if your hair is just not looking good and you need to put a bunch of curl in it really fast, the best way to do it is to put your hair in a really high ponytail, just as high as you can get it with all of it in there, and then curl it. I use a wand, but I think you can use a curling iron. I think the smaller the curl, the better, and the longer your hair, the better. So you just curl it all around while it's up in the high ponytail, and then when you take it out, you have pretty much your entire head of hair curled, with just a few exceptions that you might need to touch up. And then especially if you like pull it back into a parsh pony, or like I always do, I always just put like half up with bobby pins. It looks perfect. You don't need to do anything to it, and it only takes a fraction of the time as if you were to go all the way around your head with it down. So I just use my 1-inch barrel wand, go around it, and just like quickly curl all of it in the pony, take it down, throw it half up, you're ready to go. I'll show you the finished product here in just a minute. Okay, so I finished that and took it down, and this is what it looks like. Disclaimer, I have naturally curly hair, so it was already like its natural wavy curly, but it's on like its 3rd day, and then I just took a nap on it, like a 2-hour nap on it. So it just wasn't looking very good, and I had it up like yesterday and today, so there was like a ponytail wrinkle, but yeah, I just threw it up high, you know, you saw, and this is what it looks like then when you take it down. I probably could just get away with wearing it like this, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and pin it up because it's like 400 degrees here with 200% humidity, and that's hot. Like just when we got home from work, just walking from the car into the house was miserable. I'm just a total diva though. But honestly, the real feel is 109 degrees. And I think that's cooled off some. And it's gonna rain in 30 minutes. I'm definitely putting my hair back. So when I put my hair back like in the partial ponytail thing, I usually just grab a section from this side, grab a section from this side, pull it together in the back, because I just can't fit. If I try to pull all of my hair back, this, like all of this half of it, there's no way it would fit in bobby pins. And I just prefer the look of having it pinned back instead of having it like in a ponytail holder, I guess. So I pull those sections back, put them together, and then stick bobby pins in them right here. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick here. Okay, so it's up. I put a little hairspray right on where the bobby pins are holding my hair, and just kind of smooth everything down. I'll probably pin 1 or 2 of these back just because they're gonna be falling in my way. And see if I can do this. Yeah, so that's what the back looks like. It's on my face, there we go. Oh gosh, that's a mess right there. I'm glad I looked. Always check the back. You never know what's going on back there. So yeah, if I had not thrown it up and curled it, this wouldn't look near as good, and it honestly only took like 5 minutes maybe, and to curl all of my hair in 5 minutes is unheard of, so I definitely recommend that trick if you're in a hurry and need to get your hair looking decent. Brad's all dressed and ready to go to dinner. I like your outfit. Looks really good.
Thanks.
Normally he lets me pick out his outfits, but it looks like he tried to do it himself this time.
You're hilarious.
Okay, I'm gonna wear this. I really like it, but and I never have this problem, but it's pretty short. So, should I not be walking closer to you?
Correct.
Okay, sorry. So I'm gonna wear it like this, with it off the shoulder, because then that gives it a little bit more length. And if I stand like this, then it's even longer. So I think I'll just walk around like this.
Perfect.
Right. But I feel like these dresses, they can be worn this way, or they can be worn up on your shoulders. But if I do that, like, it gets dangerously short in the back. Not if I'm just standing straight, but if I were to lean over, there's no way I could get away with that. So, that said.
Yeah, we almost saw your butt.
You did?
Yes.
Just then?
Yes.
Oops. So I'm gonna wear it like this, but it has a tendency to pop up over my shoulder. So we'll give it a shot. Luckily it's a hot day.
All right, so we're off to Savannah, but first, I always leave the TV on for Rusty so he doesn't get lonely. And then when we're not watching YouTube videos from like Ellie and Jared or Daily Bumps, all we do is watch HGTV.
But what I like about this room is that it's, again, nice and big. We can put
House hunters.
So we've already alluded to the fact that we're on our way to Savannah. We are having dinner with, there's a new doctor that has joined the practice I work for, and she's right out of school, just graduated. This is her first real world job, and my first real world job 3 years ago when I first graduated was with this same practice. And it's pretty fast paced. There's a lot of ophthalmologists that work with a lot of optometrists, so we're trusted to do sometimes more than the average optometrist would normally do. So it's like pretty stressful at first, and I had a little bit of an adjustment trying to adapt.
Getting thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, exactly. So I know she's feeling a little bit overwhelmed, so we're gonna meet them for dinner. Her and her husband are new to the area too, so yeah, we're gonna meet them for dinner, and I'm gonna give her a few tips on how to survive real world optometry, especially in the setting that we work in. So we're driving down now, and we had an interesting conversation last night when we both couldn't sleep. Do you want to set the scene?
Yeah, so last night was one of those nights where we actually fell asleep on the couch and then got up and moved to the bed, and neither of us could fall asleep when we're in bed. So obviously our minds are just racing and running. And this is kind of a dilemma that you absolutely never, ever think about that you'll have to do in your life until you have to do IVF.
Exactly.
And that is that when we did the egg retrieval, they got, what, 18 eggs?
Yep.
13 fertilized, and then cut it all the way down to 4. So we have 4 embryos that are our kids. 2 of them they transferred into Rachel, and now she's pregnant with twins. There's 2 more that are frozen on ice in storage in Charleston.
One of the fears that I had after we got started, one of the fears that I had was that we would end up with like 13 embryos. And there's just no way we're gonna have, there's no way I'm gonna go through 13 pregnancies or like 6 twin pregnancies. This is just not gonna happen. We just don't see ourselves having that many kids, and then you have to decide what you want to do with the extra embryos. Like, do you want to put them up for adoption, which you can do, and that's a huge blessing to somebody who like has, I don't know, absolutely no sperm at all, azoospermia, they're completely infertile, or the girl has like advanced age, that's a nice way of putting it, and her eggs don't work anymore. Like, they have to adopt an embryo at that point. So we could do that. We both feel weird about having a 100% biological child out there. So that's kind of not on our list.
I'm not totally against it. Like, it wouldn't bother me that much.
I've never heard him say that. too.
I mean, it's not my first option, but
yeah, and
I'm not totally against it.
Now that I know more stories about that, like my thoughts have changed a little bit on it. I don't know that I'd be opposed to it. We'll just see. Another option is to just destroy the embryo. Not an option. Another would be to donate it to science, so they would basically just study it. I don't feel good about that either. Then there's some like weird things that you can do. I guess it's not weird, but you can like have it put into a necklace, or it's kind of like having the ashes of a loved one. I don't really like that either. That's like on par with destroying it for me. But so anyway, we've got these 2 other embryos. I'm thinking we're just gonna have both of them. But
we have the option to get them genetically tested. Neither of us have any family histories of diseases that we would worry about for the embryos.
Yeah, so initially we didn't have them genetically tested. Like, they would recommend that if we had some type of risk factor, that it would be beneficial. And what that does is it makes sure that the embryos are chromosomally normal. There are certain chromosome mishaps that can happen where they would test the embryo and they would know with like 99% certainty that if they implanted that embryo, it wouldn't take, because it's not normal. It doesn't have the right number of chromosomes. It's not compatible with life. But when you do that, you end up losing about 50%, I think is the average. Like, of the embryos that you end up with, I think you lose about 50% of them when you get them PGS tested.
Yeah, so if we get them tested, then we'll probably be down to 1, you think?
I don't know. That's the thing. So like, we're deciding now, before we have our heart set on having 2 more children after the 2 that we're going to have, do we want to thaw out these embryos and have them genetically tested, so if there is one in there that's not genetically normal, it's weeded out, so to speak, and we know we're not going to have that as a child? Like, that's our dilemma now, which is an option. It costs, how much was it?
Like $3,000?
I think so. It was several $1,000s. I thought it was like 5.
And that tests up to like 8 embryos, I think.
Yeah, so we could pay $3,000 to $5,000. I don't know if we have to pay for like a refreeze then at that point, since they're already frozen. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be like $3,000 or $5,000 to have them tested, and we could potentially have 0 embryos after doing that.
Right.
We'd have to prepare ourselves for that. But we'd also know their genders.
That's true, we would know their genders.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we should just wait.
My fear is that we'll have the twins, and then we will transfer. I don't think we'll transfer them 2 at a time anymore. So I feel like we would transfer another, and if that worked and we had a child, then if we felt like we wanted 1 more child and we transferred our last embryo and it failed, like, where would that put us? At the point where we need to do IVF all over again? Or, like, I feel like if we have that desire for 1 more child and we transfer that embryo and it fails, that would be the biggest disappointment, and we'd have to do IVF again.
Right.
And then we'd have like 5 embryos.
Yeah, so this is something I think we should get, have our current children healthy, and then
See where we're at.
Yeah, see where we're at.
Yeah, we don't need to make any decisions right now. Those things will stay frozen indefinitely.
But, it's just something that you never feel like you ever would have to face.
So many decisions with IVF are decisions that you just never thought you would have to make.
And this is definitely something that I kind of wish I knew before we started this process, that I didn't even think about.
Yeah, you gotta prepare yourself to make weird decisions like this. I know some clinics that you have to have a contingency plan for if one of you dies, or if you get in a divorce in the middle of the IVF process, what happens with the embryos. We didn't have to do that. I guess
we signed something about if we died.
I think we signed something that if one of us dies, we forfeit our embryos.
Yeah, right.
Because which I would want Brad to hire a surrogate and use our embryos and have our children. That was a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
No, but yeah, weird decisions you have to make, weird things you never thought you'd be thinking about. So that's what's on our mind lately, and luckily we don't have to make that decision anytime soon. So we're gonna film some in Savannah, so we'll see you soon. cobblestone street or one like it. So I always wear flats in Savannah now. We just finished up dinner with our friends. They were so sweet. That was the first time either of us had met them. Either of them. Either of us.
Yeah.
We hold this.
Yeah.
But yeah, dinner was really good.
So now we're headed to get dessert at Ben & Jerry's.
It was fate. So we go back to the parking garage and we're getting ready to get in our car and I need ice cream. So I put ice cream in my phone and like 4 blocks away is a Ben & Jerry's ice cream shop. It's fate. Excellent choice. He said he wasn't gonna get any. Oh my gosh. It has 2, not 1, but 2 cookies, scoop of ice cream, topped with nuts and fudge.
You probably should have shared that.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh well. Just passed by this storefront and it looks really cool. We're looking at this bed here.
I think I'd be able to build it.
So we'll get some specs on it. Look how neat that is. How fun would it be to swing on that thing?
Yeah, it'd be great.
And we have to put those flowers above it too. And we need that lamp on that piece of wood. And this snail.
All right, it's time for bed for us.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button if you want to follow us on our journey.
Hit the big thumbs up button if you liked it. It really supports our channel and recommends this video for other people to watch so they can find our channel too.
Have a great rest of the weekend and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.